Good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday. Can y'all believe it's Thursday already? For a brief second, I was getting ready to say happy Monday because I hadn't talked to y'all yesterday and I was like, wait, it's not Monday. It's not Tuesday, y'all. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another What Else is Going On, aka We Go podcast YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. I got a bone to pick with y'all. So, for those of y'all that have been around and those of y'all that are newer, first of all, thank you. Thank you for coming over here and listening, subscribing, leaving your comments, the respectful ones anyway, all of that. Even if we disagree, which we can, which we are going to do, I thank y'all for mostly being respectful. But y'all know that I do ride share. And I'll be telling y'all, say a prayer for your sis, your good girlfriend, as I go out there and on days when I'm picking up passengers, I say a prayer. I don't know what y'all was on, what prayer y'all prayed, and what y'all was on Tuesday. Y'all know I have told y'all I have been vulnerable with y'all and open and told y'all I don't really like to have conversations like that with my passengers. Very rare. I have met two lovely women that I enjoyed talking to that were actually in the Bravo sphere and all of that, which was great. That was fun. But on the normal hush mouth, I say, hi, how are you? Deborah, 1234 Ninth Street. Got it. Boom. Get you there as fast as I can. And let me be clear. If the GPS is taking me or your driver in well, I'm gonna speak for me, in a direction that my passenger is not familiar with, I would rather have my passengers speak up because I want them to feel comfortable in my car and not feel like I'm trying to take them somewhere that I'm not. And please understand, nobody is in cahoots with navigation systems. I do not believe rideshare companies are in cahoots with navigation systems to take y'all the long way to get more money. Because guess what? It really ain't that much. We are not a cab company, so we don't have a meter running. For me, I want to get you there the quickest so I could get another ride. So why y'all sitting back there like, oh, you were supposed to go this way? I went the way the GPS was telling me. But if you saw me going in a different direction than you're used to, I have no problem with you saying, oh, I normally go this direction if you don't mind. I was taking somebody to the airport and I'm familiar with the area we were in. There was two different ways I could go. So I said, the GPS is telling me to go this way. I said this to her, but I'm not quite sure why when we could go this other way. Maybe there is a traffic cluster. Do you have a preference? She said, nope, I don't have a preference. And then she looked and said, oh, there is a cluster in the direction that I was going to go and ignore the GPS. I said, okay, so which one do you? She said, I don't mind going whichever way you want it. So I chose to go the faster route, which was actually the GPS route this time, fortunately. So I say all that to say, speak up in a polite way, but I can't stand. You were supposed to turn left. You sitting back there on your phone the entire time, happen to look up, which great. I'm glad that you on your phone and talking to me, but you look up just as I'm getting ready to turn in a different. You are supposed to turn. I'm turned in the direction of the GPS. If there's another way that you would like me to go, you could let me know that. I don't have a problem with that. And I understand that sometimes people have drivers that don't like to be told what direction. I'm fine with it as long as your way is actually the quicker way, because that's not always the case. All right. But anyway, I had chatty Cathy's, listen, mouthy Mike's, talk. I said, now I told my YouTube community, say a prayer for me. They did this on purpose. Y'all did it on purpose. Y'all wanted me to have to talk to them people. I'm not gonna lie, it was cool or whatever, but I still in my head was like, anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all. Y'all know I like to tell y'all some of my ride share shenanigans. At least that was a fun one. That was a good one. That wasn't me having to put somebody out of my car or overhearing a conversation that I can't unhear. Anyway, let's get into some of these stories. First up, Wendy Williams. So we know that Wendy has been in a fight to get out of her guardianship. The public has now been included. We have the hashtag Free Wendy Williams, all of that stuff. During this time, her guardian hasn't really spoke out much, right? Now, all of a sudden, because it's gaining more, and I believe because it's gaining more and more attention, more traction, now she wants to speak out. This is according to People magazine. Wendy Williams' guardian claims that Wendy has declined medical testing amid fight to end guardianship. Exclusive. Now, remember that the judge, before Wendy went to court last week, came out, the email that she sent came out, and that she wanted Wendy tested at the facilities that the guardian had a relationship with, not with the facilities that Wendy went to. Remember that? So let's get into it. Miss Williams has declined to participate in the testing to date. Williams' guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, tells People, though the star has denied the claim. Wendy Williams refused medical testing amid her ongoing fight to end her guardianship, her guardian claims. In an exclusive statement to People, Wendy's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, claims that additional medical testing for the former talk show host has been scheduled, but Williams has declined to participate. Her scheduled appointment was on March 21st. Medical testing, including an MRI brain scan and neuropsychological assessment, has been scheduled for Miss Williams. Sabrina Morrissey says, amid reports that Wendy is waiting for her to schedule a new medical evaluation. The court directed that the testing be completed in March. Ms. Williams has declined to participate in the testing to date, and therefore the testing was not completed. Now, if I'm not mistaken, when did Wendy go to court? Wasn't that last week, which would have been after the 21st? So Wendy's guardian is saying that the testing was scheduled for the 21st. However, Wendy refused to go. But then she did have a court date afterwards. The parties are not able to address the concerns that have been expressed to the media without testing, the statement continues. Once Ms. Williams undergoes the testing and a full evaluation, the results will inform the next steps for Ms. Williams' care. A source claims to People that Sabrina is ready to reschedule the scans and appointments as soon as Wendy is ready to participate. In an interview with People during a hashtag Free Wendy rally outside of her facility on Tuesday, because the rally was Tuesday, Wendy said she was unaware of the guardian's claim that she had opted out of recent testing. I don't know anything about that, she told People exclusively, before laughing and adding, BS. She said, Lord, I am open to what I am open to, and I can't talk about it right now. So Sabrina is saying that there was a test scheduled for March 21st, the MRI and all of that stuff. Wendy won't agree to it. Mind you, Wendy's been to court since then, I believe, and has had testing done, some testing done. But I want to get into something else. So we know that there were protests for Wendy on April 1st. Last month, Wendy's health care advocate, Gina Lisa Monterosso, told People that the host is excited for a jury to decide if her guardianship should end following mental competency testing. This is something that she's been wanting to say, and she just can't wait to get her story out. Montesero said of Williams wanting to clear the air about being mentally incapacitated. At the end of the day, she's going to have a trial by jury, and it will be the jury who will be making the decision. Wendy's health advocate shared that the trial, which has not yet been scheduled, will follow additional testing from an independent neurologist. So they want an independent neurologist, not somebody that works with or has ties to Sabrina Morrissey. So shout out to Wendy. Again, I'm so glad that this became public. And I believe that they're playing it the right way and getting the story out. I told y'all before that there was a gentleman, a lawyer, I believe, who spoke out about guardianships and said, unless this is around the time of Britney's hashtag free Britney. And he said, unless you have public, eyes on you, it's pretty much impossible to get out of a guardianship once you're in it. So shout out to Wendy and her team for creating this buzz to at least, even if it comes back that Wendy needs some type of care or something, I think it could definitely not be Miss Sabrina Morrissey. Moving on, let's get into this. This is according to page 6. Judge rules Leah McSweeney can go after Bravo in court on allegations producers coerced and harassed her over drinking problems. Y'all remember, Leah has filed a suit against Bravo. The Real Housewife of New York star claimed in a bombshell February 2024 lawsuit that producers preyed on her alcohol addiction, intentionally trying to make her fall off the wagon in an attempt to make ratings-grabbing TV. Bravo filed a motion in May to dismiss her suit. But on Monday, past Monday, a judge published a 100-page ruling that dismissed parts of the suit, but allows her to keep much of her case intact, including the crux of her allegations that producers directly coerced and harassed her based on her addiction. So again, there were parts of the lawsuit that were dismissed, but allows her to keep much of it intact, including, I guess, the biggest arguing point, producers directly coerced and harassed her based on her addiction. Judge Lewis Lyman agreed with the producers' oral arguments, which they made in a New York court in November, that they had a First Amendment right to demand that stars of the famously booze-soaked flagship show drink alcohol while filming it, since it is not incidental, but central to the show's message that the drinking activities it portrays are authentic and genuine. So basically, the judge agreed with the producers arguing that, hey, we have a First Amendment right to demand that they drink because it's central to the show's message that we have drinking activities and they're genuine and authentic. Okay. But Judge Lehman said she can continue to sue Bravo over how they treated her drinking issues. The judge noted that Leah McSweeney alleged that the producers joked about her drinking issues in her presence, despite her request that they stop, taunted her about her alcohol use disorder, and tried to undermine her sobriety through harassing comments, directed other cast members to bring up her mental health and substance abuse issues, and to call her a drug addict, and coached fellow cast members to further disparage her. In the article that I'm reading from with page 6, they have a picture of her on the Ultimate Girl Trip, and Candace is like sitting next to her. They're at a table and Candace is sitting like this, sitting next to her. Remember when Heather was like, oh, they were talking about what they were going to do, and Heather brought up Leah's drinking. Now I forget, did Heather bring it up to Garcelle and the other, what's the child's name? Giselle and the other ladies, or was it to Leah? When she said, we're going to get Leah to drink, and Leah was upset by that and was like, no, like, I'm not going to be drinking. Remember, that became a thing. So I wonder if that's an exhibit or an example for her. The judge said that Bravo will have to answer for those allegations. He also rules that she can continue to sue over allegations that while she was preparing to appear on Roni's spinoff Ultimate Girl Trip, producers told McSweeney that she would be able to go to AA during the shoot, but changed their minds once they were on location. Judge Lehman wrote, her request to attend an AA meeting could have been accommodated without unreasonable hardship or expense. Both sides will now begin demanding each other's private records, texts, and emails, and will request under oath interviews. McSweeney's attorney, Gary Alderman of Alderman Matz, told Page 6, we thank the judge for his care in his 100-page decision that kept the majority of the major claims against the defendants and continues to give full life to Leah's lawsuit and another step closer to holding the defendants accountable. He added, while we disagree with his findings on the minor claims and will certainly be filing an amended complaint to address his questions, this decision is not a scoreboard. It was an affirmation that there are serious claims and that they will proceed in court. Bravo declined to comment. Ciao. The judge had 100-page statement. Where do they find the time? Well, I guess that's why they have clerks and all that stuff. But the judge had wrote a 100-page ruling, a published 100-page ruling. I wonder if Bravo is going to push forward, or if they're just, because remember in November they argued their points, but now that this has come back and the judge has is allowing a majority of Leah's legal claims to go forward, I wonder if they're just going to settle and say, we're not even going to fight this. Let's try to settle. Ciao. Moving on, let's go to Teddi. So I know that Teddi has been like a thorn in a lot of people's sides, right? But at the end of the day, no matter what, when it's this real life stuff, I know that we all pretty much feel the same way. We don't wish health issues, on anyone, and you hope that they recover. So this is according to Reality Blurb. And Teddi gives an update. Teddi Mellencamp is opening up about her cancer battle and dishing on her hard days, the state of her family, her treatment plan, and more. Months after the 43-year-old Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum stage 4 melanoma traveled into her lungs and brain, Teddi offered an update on her health as she was dealt devastating news. So she says, I'm fighting for my life, but also for my family's life and all the people I love, Teddi revealed to Us Weekly during an interview last month on March 24th. So remember, she sat down with Us Weekly March 24th, which was what? Just a week ago, right? That was days before learning that there were 4 additional small tumors on her brain. So she has since learned that she has 4 additional small tumors on her brain. As she undergoes radiation and immunotherapy, Teddi's energy level has been declining. I'm listening to my body, but also staying active and doing things that I love, because when I do too much laying around, I get pretty sad. On the days I'm feeling low, I can get really emotional. And if I'm open with the people in my life, then I have an easier time resting. When I try to pretend I'm okay and resting, it's hard for me. Looking back at the moment in which Edwin rushed her to the emergency room due to migraines, intense pain, and vision loss, Teddi said doctors found 6 brain tumors and 2 lung tumors. They had been there for 6 months to a year, and she had no idea. So she said, the brain surgery that she just had, Kyle Richards was instrumental in that. Kyle got her into Cedars-Sinai, where an incredible surgeon removed 4 tumors from her brain in about 24 hours. She said Kyle saved the day. Then so she had that interview with Us Weekly on March 24th. Last week, on March 26th, which was just last Wednesday, so a little over a week ago, she learned that there were tumors, and she's scheduled to meet with doctors in June to find out what's next. So basically, when she meets with the doctors in June, she's going to find out if she needs to do another round, if there's going to be another surgery, or if it's the end, y'all. She said it's a hard pill to swallow before admitting parts of one of the saddest parts of her health battle. She said, this is definitely the hardest thing I faced in my life, but now it feels less hard. When I was in the ICU, it was incredibly difficult because I had no memory. One day I realized it was my daughter's birthday and I couldn't be there for it. It was really sad. It's still sad when I can't be there for my kids the way I'd normally be. Everybody wants me to be super positive all the time. One of my coping mechanisms is being sarcastic. I'd rather joke about it and have the best possible outcome than be completely in denial and have my heart broken, she added when asked about facing mortality. Although she didn't care that much about shaving her head, Teddi did struggle with her body changing. The first time I went to work out, I'm sitting there bald. My entire body looked completely different because of the steroids. I tried to run and I couldn't. That was pretty devastating to me. While Teddi's physical changes are unavoidable, she is experiencing less emotional drama after she and Edwin agreed to put their divorce on hold as they continue to live under the same roof but in different rooms. It wasn't really the time to be fighting over emails. He's been extremely kind and helping with the kids. That's made things a lot easier. The second that I got sick, he completely changed. He's been there for me 100%. He's been there for the kids, and we're back to laughing. Listen, um, she said that Dorit has since reached out since she called her out. Remember last week? She got on her podcast and listed the people who checked in on her and who didn't, which I still think was kind of like, Since then, Dorit has called her, checked on her. Teddi said, I'm good friends with Erica. So she said, Dorit does want to reach out to you now. Can she? I said, don't know how quick I'll be to forgive, but sure. But then her message was so nice that I have to say we'll probably be fine. So, yeah. She said Denise Richards reached out, which was a little bit of a shocker. I guess so, because Teddi was the one that introduced the Brandy storyline, I believe, with Brandy and Denise. Remember? So, she also says, as for her dating life, she's on Hinge because she's still on the wait list for Raya. There's only been two guys I've actually gone on dates with. The first one asked me if I wanted to have more kids, and I was like, I'm in the hospital. This isn't really the right time, bud. I have a head wrap on. I just learned my own birth date, but the other guy is super nice, super sweet, kind, exactly what I need right now, she teased. So she's still, well, I mean, look, to each his own, to each, if that's what helps her. Y'all let me know what y'all think. And then the last thing, this is quick, chat. You might not even see it in the video description, but the people say Garcelle and Sutton aren't speaking, according to Reality Blurb. You know, the sources say, according to a new report, which comes out, Garcelle continues to ignore a friendly post shared by Sutton in regard to her exit from the show. Remember, Sutton posted a picture of Garcelle and Sutton saying Lucy and Ethel friends forever. They say Garcelle was livid at the reunion. She stormed off set and refused. I wish they would put, I believe, didn't she storm off like after it was over and refused? I don't know. I guess we'll see. And refused to take a photo with the cast. She was very upset at Sutton for not defending her and sort of backing down against Kyle when it comes to the situation with Morgan. Garcelle felt totally blindsided by Sutton. They did not speak after the reunion. Sutton and Garcelle are still not speaking, but Sutton and Kyle are. Wow. And then they're saying that despite Garcelle having been on Instagram since Sutton posted that picture of her and Garcelle, she's never liked or responded to Sutton's post. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't. And I feel like I'm with Garcelle on that. And I just want to get this out. Let's be clear. Just because people have a certain opinion or view of how this is going down with Garcelle and her leaving and Bose and Erica on Watch What Happens Live and Sutton not having Garcelle's back, that does not mean that we agree 100% with everything Garcelle does. There is no housewife, no person in real life that I agree with what they do 100%. You know what I'm saying? There's room for nuance. There's room for almost a dichotomy, like this and this. These seem like two opposite thoughts, but yet somehow I have them both. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that if I was Garcelle, I would really have to take a look at my friendship with Sutton. I think Garcelle's been doing it the whole time. But because there are things, you know, you have those friends that, because there are things you like about them, you overlook a lot. Maybe it's a work friend that became a friend in real life. But you've noticed different things about them that you were still kind of willing to overlook, but you don't work there anymore and you aren't in the same circle. So it's easier to disconnect from that friend or to kind of let that friendship fade. because you won't see them. You're not in the same circles. And I think that's how it could be for Garcelle and Sutton. Normally, they probably would not have been friends, I think. But their friendship formed through them being each other's allies, because again, they were clearly on the outside of the Fox Force 5 because the Fox Force 5 made that known. So, but I can see Garcelle being like, I'm good. Still keeping it friendly if she sees her or whatever. But other than that, so child, the Southern Belle full of Southern comfort is probably been throwing them back down her throat since she found out that Garcelle was leaving. Because she and even if they bring Jennifer Tilly on full time, I don't know if that would be enough. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Sutton and Garcelle aren't really talking? Let me know what y'all think about Teddi. Again, shout out to, well, despite everything we may think about her, again, we still wish her healing and recovery and peace and more time with her children. And to, I was going to say, and to live her life and find love again if she wants. I mean, but if she is out here dating in the midst of all this, God bless. And let me know what y'all think about the judge saying Leah can move forward with her lawsuit. Do y'all think that Bravo may settle out of court? Because if now they can get text messages and emails and all this stuff, that's access to a whole lot. And let me know what y'all think. Y'all think Wendy's guardian is lying? Because Wendy said she know nothing about no testing that was supposed to be March 21st. Let me know what y'all think. Love y'all. I was going to tell y'all to say a prayer for me today when I head out into these streets, but I don't know. Guess what, y'all? Tomorrow is my birthday. Tomorrow is my birthday. Shine a light on her. Oh, shine a light on her. Point to the birthday person. Okay, well, I guess I can't point till midnight, but tomorrow's my birthday. Y'all, I'm 47 right now. Not yet 48. Well, I was about to send my whole Amazon wish list to my mom. I am 47 and was going to send my Amazon wish list to my mama. But she actually, I'm going to New Orleans the end of April. Me, Corey, and my one brother to go fly to see my other brother and his wife and my nephew. I'm so excited. And she got our plane tickets last month. She said it was early birthday presents for my brother, me, my hubby, right? So they're early birthday presents. But just like a kid, child, I went to a kid again. Like, yeah, I know that was my birthday present. I can still send you my Amazon wish list, right? Child, just like a kid. But anyway, y'all, I'm getting ready to go out. I hope that y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember what we talked about last week. Push through, no matter what it is, no matter what you got going on. But you see, you can still visualize your goal as long as you can still see it, even if other people can't, as long as you can still see it, keep pushing through. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Y'all, guess what? I'm sorry. I keep saying I'm gonna go, but guess what? I want to share this with y'all. I'm so excited. Let me do my math. Hold on. Hold on. I am only 270 subscribers away from 6,000. Please, y'all, subscribe. Come on around here and have fun with us. Love y'all, and I will talk to y'all later. See ya. How do I get out of here? Where is my button?